me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun. The feeling we chased, I'm wide awake. Take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy. Making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. Wherever we go, we're taking control. The future is ours now. The road never ends. It's me and my friends. These are the good times. And I'm feeling like I could go on forever. And I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. It's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy. Making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun. The feeling we chased, I'm wide awake. Take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy. Making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive. Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun, the feeling we chase. I'm wide awake, take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive. Wherever we go, we're taking control. The future is ours now. The road never ends. It's me and my friends. These are the good times. And I'm feeling like I could go on forever. And I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive, drive. I'm just gonna drive, drive.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. Great to see everyone tonight. Hope everyone is doing well. And we're going to be bringing Merle up here in a little bit. He's kind of off in Walla Land hiding somewhere. But I promise you he'll be here. So tonight we're going to be talking about some of the things that are going on in the world. Obviously our world is getting crazy. And we're going to be talking about food storage and prepping, and Tanya wanted to know about homesteading and costs, so we're going to be talking about a few other things. So everybody here can hear okay? Everything is good? Give me a yes, thumbs up if you can hear us well. Sound is very low. Alright, well we can change that. How's that, Tanya? Is that better? You're good now? So we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. Can't hear you. How about now? It should pop up here pretty quick. YouTube's a little slow. I just saw it flip. Still seeing a little low. Alright. We'll put more power to it. You gotta excuse me, I've been off of the YouTube track here for a while. I've been working way too much. But how's everyone tonight? And you guys good now? Can you hear us real good? Hope. Better? Alright, that's good. Alright, so we're gonna bring old Merle in here, and I'm sure he's been biting at the horns here trying to get in, so here's Merle.
Hello guys, I hope you can hear me, and if not, let me know and I'll just blow your doors off. Yeah, we had to learn how to do everything all over again today. It's just one of those things.
Good to see you, Walter. Glad you could join us.
Oh, good. Nice bunch of people in there already.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been working a lot of hours, working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. So my YouTube experiences have been 0 to none. Sorry about that, but we are trying to pop in here, lad. We've been trying to get things ready for winter. The white stuff has, I think, officially came. It snowed this morning and it still is snowing a little bit. So Merle's all nice and happy and somewhat over there. Still ain't snowing by him.
Yeah, I'm not looking for any snow. Just don't want any. That's all there is to it.
I don't want any either.
We've got rain. We get a 1 day of sunshine and then 4 days of rain. That seems the way it's been going around here, but it could be a lot worse. We could be having all kinds of storms or snow and all kinds of junk, so pretty happy. Merle's low. Merle is low. You gotta watch him. He's low.
Hey, Sister Sandy K, glad you could join us. Alf, good to see you. So yeah, guys, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, and with the elections coming up here in a couple days, I was talking with Merle this week, and you know, this time that we're in is going to be rough no matter how you look at it, because it's a lose-lose situation. If the Democrats get what they want, they're going to make stuff hard for us. If the Republicans win, then Democrats are going to go and just go crazy and make it hard for us. So this election is not only going to be very difficult all the way around, and there's a lot of things changing, and I'm going to ask if Merle wants, he's been watching a lot of the currencies and the money thing and stuff like that this last week, so we'll have him give a little talk on that. But there is a lot of things going on here, so we'll let everybody get settled in, and everybody says they're hi. Miranda's also from Wisconsin. I knew that. Just didn't remember.
It kind of looks to me like, you know, if we win this election, there's going to be trouble. And if we lose this election, there's going to be trouble. So,
Yeah, exactly.
if we're going to have trouble anyway, we better just tell everybody to go vote and just win the darn thing. That's the way I'm thinking. Crank it up.
Crank you up
If you
some
have
more.
some, yeah, I turn my end up and I'm blowing the doors off of somebody. Should be, but I think Mark should be in control of some of my audio there. And when you guys see it's about where you like it, let us know. Yeah, anyway, I guess memes are the way to go for your political advertising on the social media. They don't know how to just yet to find those memes and get rid of them or shadow ban them. So memes are the way to go for the time being.
You guys hear
Otherwise,
Merle
if
okay here. Gonna, I must be hearing you. You guys hear him better now? Gotta love YouTube. Is about a minute off.
yeah, that's pretty normal though.
Tanya
I
says
think.
okay here.
Well, if it's okay with Tanya, it's okay with me. That's for sure. I don't know. This political situation is getting a little crazy. The left seems like they want to fight, you know, so I'm not much in the mood for fighting. But I think they feel like if they can get the right to kill some people or maim some people, especially this group that's coming up from the South, what they really want us to do is get in a big fight with those people down there and hear Merle good, but you, oh, hear Merle good, but you got very low.
Yeah, I just turned up the mic on my side a little bit.
Okay.
Sandy says good now. All right.
So what they're hoping for, what the left is hoping for, is that we will hurt someone, and then they can really turn it on. So, what are we going to do? I don't know. I'm a little concerned about this thing and where this caravan's going to try to come in. I'm concerned mostly about our soldiers and our border patrol, because the other side's going to shoot first. There's no doubt about it. And I don't want to see one of our guys go down for nothing. And that's kind of what I think's going on, is for nothing, because they're not going to let them in.
Mr. Bill, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time, Bill.
I think I know Bill, but I better check, make sure.
Elf Lord has been in here a few times. So what we're going to do, guys, is we got a
Yes.
lot of stuff to talk about. Like I said before, you come and be a part of the live stream. You get that magic wrench. Participate. We give it to everyone. I think everybody deserves to be open in the channel. And don't forget, thank you, Sandy K. Hit the smash button, or smash the like button, please, and a thumbs up. It helps out our channel. It helps out you guys, too. Don't forget to change your chat over to live chat. And
I agree with you. Sandy K, I agree with you. Roland is low. He really is. He's just low.
that's weird, because I got that thing just pounding. Well, we'll move the
Can't
mic.
blame it on Merle today.
No, can't blame it on Merle. We're just going to move the mic up here. And we'll go
Yeah,
that
you're
route.
about to blow my doors off. Laptop's been on the fritz. Yeah, that's not a good thing either. Well, laptops are a little harder to repair than a desktop. I got one, two, three, four, five computers sitting in here, which is about three more than I should have. Elf Lord's Journey. What have you been up to? I see you all over the place. Almost every place I go, you're there. That means that we got a lot in common, I think. Except you're a lot better at what you do than I could be.
Miranda, I've been flipping back and forth here. Why isn't Elf Lord getting the moderator? There we go. Alright, so there's 14 in the house. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and I think everybody can see that. Between the caravans, the money issue, the currencies that's going to be popping up, and what me and Merle have been talking a lot about in the last week here is the monetary system. And right now, if the bartering system fails, I was watching a video the other day, and there's a couple things that we're going to talk about tonight about if the economy crashes, an EMP, some of those kinds of things happen, what happens to the things around us? So that's what we're going to get into a little bit now here. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is for the areas that have prisons. Now, this is not the scare factor or anything like that, but you got to think about this. If the power goes out or the economy crashes, people don't get paid, people can't feed other people, people get out. Now, they got to go somewhere. And the theory behind it is they're not going to go back into a city because they've been a part of the system so long they want to get out. So if the prisoners escape or get out or let go, or however you want to look at it, they're going to go somewhere. And they're going to be hungry. They're going to be looking for food. They're going to be doing this and that. These are the things that you need to think about. What's your thoughts on that one, Merle?
Yeah, and everybody always talks about if you go to the middle of the country, places like where Mark lives and where I live, we're 50 miles or more from a big city. And what I've been trying to tell people is the fact that that's where everybody's going to end up going. So there are more and more people talking about how it could be worse for us where we are after a time. Now, for the first 2 or 3 weeks after some kind of a problem, and I personally believe that the first problem that we're going to end up with is a financial problem, because most of the financial people that I watch are talking about something devastating happening sometime between now and the next couple of years. Could be next week or 2 years from now.
Hey, James.
But anyway, the thing is that, yeah, what Mark said is right. Where everybody is going to end up is out in the country, in the center of the country. So, at first it's going to be really tough in the cities, but later on you're going to have roving bands of really, really super bad people out in the country. So, not to hog the microphone, but I just got to say real quick that if you really want to protect yourself and your family, you need as many people that you can trust to help you. So if you can get with your family and decide whose house are you going to go to when everything gets bad, at least you'll have family and in as many people as you can to try to defend your property and your people. So that's kind of where I'm standing right now.
And there's people out there too, Merle, that, like Sybil, for instance, she's with handicapped personnel, that really can't take off and go somewhere because they're stuck in the position that they're at. So there's people out here, and some of us that are even in this chat room that just can't get up and drop everything and go somewhere. So they're going to be hunkered down in the house. And what Merle's trying to say is now is the time to look at your area, look at different be aware of your surroundings, making sure that you have that picture in your head so if something isn't correct, it sticks out instantly. That way you're allowed to recognize, hey, there's something here that doesn't belong here. Because if you can't leave, or you're not in a situation where you've got 100 acres around you that's wide open and you can see, if you're in a wooded area, a busy city where these people can come in and they just look like the normal, those are the things that we're talking about tonight. Is just be aware of your surroundings, have your stuff ready to go, because I think here in the next week there's going to be a bunch of things that are happening that are going to change the way our world is.
Yeah, and so, well, I can't tell you for sure because I don't know your situation exactly as to, how close you are to the border and all that. But there's going to be thousands and thousands of good people in your area that should be able to take care of keeping you safe there. Last count I had, we've got 6,000 or 7,000 military people headed towards the border, and probably as many as 3,000 to 5,000 militia from other areas of the country. So I wish you well. I think if it were me and I could get away from there, though, that I probably would.
It's a hard fact of life is that no one wanted what's going to happen. No one said this is the reason why. This has been planned by the elite, the deep state, however you want to look at it, for a long time. And they've been working on this. I mean, you guys can go look at Georgia Guidestones. It says it there. If one of the things, if you have family members that just do not believe what you're talking about, take a picture of that Georgia Guidestone. You can get it online, and it shows right in the very first sentence they want to get the population down to 500,000 people. So that means there's going to be pestilence, there's going to be disease, there's going to be all of this going on at the same time.
Yeah, it's 500 million, I think.
Oh, is it?
But there's 340 million right here in the United States. Now that's not to count the rest of the world. So they really want to put down a lot of people.
Yeah, like Tanya's saying too. Her husband is ill, so they just can't get up and boogie. So you guys got to look at things and the aspects of, okay, I have no choice. I'm going to stay. So is a possibility that you can have a reinforced doors, or is it a possibility that you can put something on the windows to stop somebody from coming in? Those are the aspects too that you need to look at.
Yeah, and I don't know how well it would work, but I often thought that if I was stuck somewhere and couldn't get away, that it couldn't hurt if you put a sign on the door that would be a warning for people that you've got some horrible disease inside, and if they enter, I would think twice about it. So
a scare tactic, that's a good idea. Yeah. No, James, not the caravan is coming down from the Mexico side, but the other thing is too is if our economy crashes, or if they do something with an EMP or something like that, or it could be the sun flares and everything else that's going on too on top of it. But we have our prison population is overpopulated. The last time I listened to anything, they're running about 15 to 20 or 1,500 to 2,000 inmates over capacity. And if they don't show up for work, the power goes out, the doors open up, they walk out. There's nobody to stop them or put them back in because no one's at work. So they're going to be roaming free.
Yeah, somebody's going to let them go. There's no question about it. If there's nobody there to take care of them, nobody to keep someone from letting them go, they're definitely going to be out and doing what they always do. They'll get together and run around in roving bands of, I don't know, call them what you will, but it's not going to be good. For some of you guys that are stuck in place, though, and you just can't go anywhere, it'd be really cool if you could talk the rest of your family into making your place the place where everybody can come. So at least you wouldn't be sitting there by yourself.
And yeah, where? Oh, that was Miranda. Yeah, they're gonna try to divide us up, and I think it's gonna be, if you're Christians or if you have certain beliefs or anything like that, you're gonna be in a category all by yourself, and um, with the guillotines or whatever else that they want to throw at us, so be it. Bottom line is, guys, God's in control of what's gonna happen. So
Yeah, it's going to be different, and something. I mean, it's just been gone too long. Something's going to happen. I just know it is. But like I said, these guys don't really have anything to gain by trying to scare us with these ideas of having some kind of a currency problem, or the country going broke and all that kind of stuff. So I don't see the fact that those guys are just trying to make money or cause problems. I think they really believe that things are set, and they tell me that things are set just like it was back at the end of 2007 when everything went bad. They're also saying that for some reasons that I don't really remember, is that this could be as bad or worse than the problems they had in 1929. So, if you can, I'd also like to say that if you can, it would be good to have some silver on hand. Most of us in this chat room probably aren't going to have the money to buy gold, so silver should be the next thing. But in the early days, food and tobacco and alcohol probably would be your best bet for bartering material. Don't you think, Mark?
yeah, great to see you, RG. I'm glad you could join us. There's going to be a part of this too, guys, that I did watch a video the other day that they're going to try to stop the bartering system, because you got to remember, Uncle Sam wants his portion. So if you're bartering with your neighbor, Uncle Sam ain't getting any profits from that. So they're going to try to stop the bartering system. So if you're going to barter, not saying if or not, do it under the table, and try not to do it online or phone systems. Try doing it all behind the scenes.
Yeah, I agree, RG. You got to have plenty of lead. There's no doubt about it.
Hey, that's the biggest
And,
precious metal I got.
Yeah, and if it's coated, that would even be better. But it's it's just I go back to the fact that there are so many things that could happen. You just should be ready for whatever comes along, and that includes having a year or two or three worth of food. And I was thinking the other day too about something that happened while Hussein was in power, and that was that they were talking about actually not letting people have a garden, and that there were some people that were very serious about it too. So what Mark was saying there about them wanting to be in control, Lord only knows what could happen. And my best guess is that they would probably go after the president first, and then who knows what could happen.
Glad you could
That's
join
where
us,
prayers, Jewish redneck preppers, welcome. But that's where prayers come in. Prayers help, and they do work, and the more of us that pray, the better.
That's exactly the thing too. You not only have to have your prep ready, and look at this as the other thing. The names have all changed throughout the years, but it's all the same thing. If you look at a pioneer, or if you look at a woodsman, if you look at bushcraft, or if you look at homesteading, or if you look at prepping, the core value is still all the same. It just has a name change, and now it's become, oh, this is FUBAR, you're not supposed to do that. The biggest prep that I can tell you that everybody in this room probably already knows is get yourself right with the Lord. Get your heart set, your mind set, and put your faith in Him. The other stuff is just going to come naturally because guess what? He's the father. He's going to take care of us. You know, and that doesn't mean that you got to be stupid and saying, I'm waiting for food to fall down. No, he gives you a mind to think about things. Well, I got to go store this up or I got to do that. But put your faith in something that is going to be there later on in life that you really, really need to be.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that God is going to take care of us. There's no doubt about it. But his idea of taking care of us could be to take us to the good place too, you know. We have no guarantee of life or tomorrow or anything like that. So I would be ready to go, I think. My only problem is I don't want to go by myself. But and you know, that reminds me of something else too. I heard somebody once say that the only thing worse than going to hell is taking one of your family with you. So that's something to think about too.
And James there talks about a really good point also is there are people that can have little farms or homestead, and that's what it is it's self-efficient. And that's what I've been doing here for the last 2 years is trying to make the homestead a renewable resource. And by putting the vegetables that we can harvest the seeds from and replant. The chickens give us eggs, the meat birds, you know, so on dual purpose birds, the apple trees, the fruit trees. So we have that renewable resource with us at all times. And the other thing that we got to really look at too, and this just became because we got half of a horse, is that we just got a new Great Dane for a pup, which he eats a lot already. So you have to remember to have the food for your pets and your animals also. And, you know, with the vegetables and the corn and everything else, you can feed your animals that way too. Great to see you there. Look at the two cedars. They're trolling tonight, Merle.
Yeah, I noticed that. Our private troll has not showed up today. We don't know where Tommy's at, but we welcome anyone that comes in that wants to troll. We wouldn't feel right without it, that's for sure. So, but don't forget, you know, trying to have a small farm, don't take on more than you can do, and that's pretty easy to do. Very. By the time you get all the families or the farm animals that you want and big gardens and stuff like that, man, I tell you what, I don't have as much as I would like to have here because we're a bit cramped for space. But, gee, if I had everything like we did back in, I say, 30 years ago, I'm not sure I could handle it today, but Mallard's it's good for you. It really. Mallard 5, welcome. We're glad to see you.
Like, you know, Merle brought up a very good point. You know, sometimes our eyes are bigger than what we're capable of doing, and I found that out by myself is put in a huge garden, and I got all this land, and I'm going to plant stuff and do this and do that. And all it took was for me to go on overtime. I lost everything in the greenhouse because I wasn't there to make sure that things were zipped up and closed up, and the frost came and took care of that, took care of some of our apples. So, you know, you got to be mindset on what you're doing. Is that do I have the time to do it? Because the homesteading, the farm life, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of time. So
yeah, and James brought up something there too. I don't currently have, but I think it's about time. And that is dogs. You need dogs.
You want me to send you one?
They're handy. Well, my daughter raises German Shepherds, and she's got them in police departments all over the country, and some I think in other countries. So I would probably go that direction. But I don't know, you just got a new dog, right?
Yeah.
Now, what kind of a dog was that? I forgot.
Great Dane.
Well, All I know was it looked like a whole big horse to me.
Like that, just like that lion that's sitting behind you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
this is my my mountain lion. She likes to sit up here on my chair while I talk. she
that's
she's
a really
ornery.
cool thing. A part of it too is dogs let you know when stuff's coming, but that means that everybody outside can hear them too. But the bigger dogs, I like the fact that man, their bark is deep and growl and rough, and even as a pup, he's louder than what Coda is, and Coda's 2 years old. So it's kind of nice to have that monstrosity running around because it's the shock and awe like in the service, the big wow factor comes up, and when you see a horse running at you with teeth, that's what you think is wow. This is, and it keeps people away, and we like that. But it also keeps
My daughter,
UPS away and everybody else too.
yeah, we were cutting wood over at my daughter's, and she wanted me to hold the sleeve and let this dog come at me, and I had never done it before, and I said, well, I don't want to make an enemy of the dog, and I don't want the dog to bite me, and so let's go through this step by step. So she finally convinced me that it was okay because the dog, for the dog, it was playtime, and that it will only bite the sleeve and all that. So finally I did. I let the dog come at me, and if you'll watch my last video, at the very tail end of that video, it shows where that dog came at me and almost took me down. So I gotta say that after having done that with that dog, I think dogs, if you can have them, they're something that you should have on your homestead for sure, or wherever you're at.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice to have, and but the other thing too is if you have a dog on a homestead, and something does happen, you have to have a way of feeding them, because sooner or later they're an animal, and they get hungry. So you gotta have that ways of feeding them too. So, yeah, Miranda says they say that houses with dogs never get broken in. That's a very good point. So we're going to be trying out a couple different sets today, guys. So if you see me flipping back and forth, if you see one that you guys really, really like, let us know, because it does help us when we're trying to build these to see how good we're doing. So
yeah, and I already told him I thought the first one was the best. So
actually, you said the fourth one. They haven't seen that.
Let us
yet.
know. Let us know what you guys have been watching on YouTube. Have you been looking at any of these problems that we're talking about today? Is it something that you spend a lot of time with, thinking about and preparing for, or do you just kind of think that everything's going to be all right?
Hey,
I
Colleen,
wonder.
Thanks for joining us. A lot of people probably don't have Colleen. If you don't, go check her channel out. She does live streams also. So go over there and check out her channel and see if you like it. And if you do, give her a sub. Help each other out, guys.
I sure will, because I wasn't subscribed, but I am now.
Don't forget,
Tickle
guys,
the
hit
bell,
that
too.
like button.
And the other thing that you should know, if you don't already, we're not trying to scare people. But we are wanting to try to bring it to people's attention that things may not always be as good as it is right now. So, there are things that you can do to make things better.
Yep. And
James says, I'm watching a lot of Joel Salatin videos. That man's an inspiration. Yes, he is. He really is. He knows his stuff. Go ahead, Mark.
And that's just like what Merle just said. It's not a scare tactic at all. It's just to get to your mind thinking, because most of you guys in here are think like we do anyway, and you know, the way the world is coming to, if you go back and ask your parents, or if you go ask your grandparents how much it's changed, you can actually see the difference. And if the system does fall, and you see the money order, because now with the currency change and stuff like that they're talking about wanting to do, and going into the one world money currency or whatever they're going to do, it's really going to affect everybody.
I was laughing, Mark, because of
Tanya's not a moderator
two
either.
seaters. Dave's talking about. He's thinking that Houdini might make a nice goat chop. Yeah, that's probably true.
You know, that's a good point too. Is, you know, I was thinking about that the other day. Is we got, you know, acreage that we mow right now, and like, well, something happens, I'm not mowing anymore. I'm gonna have the gas to mow, so either it's gonna get turned into something that is you know, usable, or it's just gonna get growing. And Mom was outside and walking the dogs the other day and got cut and was bleeding in her finger, and she took some old-fashioned quack grass and put it on that, chewed it up and stuck it on her, and lo and behold, guess what it did? It stopped that bleeding instantly. And I didn't know that, so I learned something new.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, there's always something new that you can learn, believe it or not, and that's a good thing, because you're pretty good with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sandy K, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, really. We've got it good now compared to what's to come. I feel that way too. And
you know, exactly, you hit it right on the head there.
What worries me are the people, and I've got people like that in my family, that just, you know, they just live from day to day and think that tomorrow's going to be as nice as today. And I don't know. I'm not one of those people that just constantly worries about something, but I kind of like to be prepared. And that's what homesteading's kind of all about for me. I tell you what, believe it or not, my wife, she's extended our garden to the point that yesterday she came in with a big basket full of greens, and just by covering things up when it was going to freeze, and you know, for it to be, here it is the 1st of November, and she's still taking things out of the garden. I think that means a lot, really does.
And the thing of it too is, you know, if we didn't think the way we did, if your power would go out, or like this spring here when I was stuck in the house for 3 days because of the snowstorm, I couldn't go anywhere. If I was living the traditional way, and I was allowing, you know, for just going for 3 days of food and going to the store, and I didn't have my backup plan here, we would have been in trouble. Because if I only go to the store every 3 days, I would have ran out of food. Can't get out on the road. Drifted in. So it's just that extra blanket of security that you have is so important. And so it's not a scare tactic at all. It's just more or less common sense. But have a little extra.
Yeah, and that 3 days kind of reminded me of something I probably say more than people want to hear, is that, at least in our area, the stores only have enough food to last about 3 days. And if that truck doesn't show up on that 3rd day, you know, somebody's going to get hungry after about 5 or 6 days. That's for sure.
Yep.
So it's not like you can just wait. If you don't have it, when it hits the fan, you're going to be have a problem. And Elf Lord Old Camp does have a huge pantry full, and boy, it's pretty too, isn't it? She'll bite you. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too, guys, is that if you have the opportunity, you know, try to go and find some silver, or if you got silver coins, or anything that. And I think what is the time frame? Anything before 65? Is that right, Merle? He's got silver in
Yeah,
it.
60, anything before 64, and then 65 had some silver. And then after that, it would have to be the Silver Eagle silver dollars.
So you know,
And those are what I like those. But if you're going to buy something from someone and you want to use silver, it's awful hard to beat old silver coins. But as far as coinage goes, I honestly believe that the paper dollar could actually go bust, and you could still buy things with silver, or not silver, but just regular coinage. I think you'll be able to use that for at least a period of time. So it wouldn't hurt to.
If you guys want to go check out a website, God told me years ago. I guess Miranda says God told me years ago to get silver. There's a website that I've been going to now that I feel pretty safe on, and checking out. It's called JB Bullion, and you can get silver coins, you can get silver bars, you can order them and have them shipped right to your house. They do tracking numbers and signatures, so you're not getting ripped off. So if you want to go and check them out, it's a good resource. Right now, silver is reasonable. It's not that expensive, and they are expecting it to go down even a little bit more yet before it goes up. But Merle had a good point about this with silver before, because he's been watching the currencies and watching things really close here for the last couple of weeks. And just take, for instance, right now, silver costs around I think it's like 15.02 an ounce. So imagine what that would be worth if so you have a couple ounces that doubles or triples, quadruples. So if something bad happens, let's say gold goes up to $10,000-$15,000 an ounce. Just think of what that silver is going to go up to. So your $15 investment just might have turned you over a couple $100.
Yeah, no kidding. In 2008, gold went from $300 an ounce to $1,900, and I had some rings and whatnot around here at the time, and I sold gold for $1,800 an ounce, and that's a lot of money for something that you got maybe $150 in. So it wasn't my purpose to buy this stuff and hold on to it at the time, but as the way things turned out, it kind of gives you an idea of what you might do in the future.
Well, not only that,
so
look at it this way. Look in 2008, silver jumped up to $58 an ounce. Guys, it was like, down into the $4 or $5 an ounce. So when that happened, it jumped to $58 an ounce. So that's a huge increase.
In the mid to late 90s, we were buying Silver Eagles for $6 and $7 a piece, and those same Silver Eagles sold then later at the time that Mark's talking about for $58 a piece. So, but the way to look at it is, we all know that gold's going to go up if we have problems. And they're saying, people say a lot of things, and it may or may not come true, but they're saying that the gold could go as much as $10,000 or maybe a little more. Well, look what silver's going to do. It's going to follow. It's probably going to be worth somewhere in the area of a third as much as the price of silver. Plus the fact that much of the silver that we have on the planet has already been mined. So there's two reasons that it could go up. So, and I just don't know how a person could lose buying silver unless you bought it now and it dropped $2 or $3 or $4.
And not only that, guys, is that China and Russia are right now, and Syria and someone else is buying up all the silver because they want to go to a currency-backed method. So if they buy up the majority of the silver and gold, or I should say silver, but if they buy the majority of the gold and all that is here is silver, the people that do have silver are going to be the ones that are going to be better off. The other thing too that I was talking with Merle about is they found out with gasoline. Thanks for sharing this, Sandy. By the way, guys, yeah, share it and don't forget to hit that like button. We got 19 in the house and we got 11 likes. Come on, guys. If gas, right now I just watched a thing, has got a 6-month lifespan on it, and Merle gave me the idea that you can use some, what do you call that stuff again?
Stable.
Stable.
And there are a couple other products too.
But right now they really are going to try so that you can't do and hold gas as long as what you used to be able to back in the day. So there's a couple methods that I was thinking about to do this. Would be one, to hold on to 25 gallons and rotate it into vehicles. You could do that route. But it's all going to stop when you can't buy anything. So yes, silver is going to get you the big meats or the big things that you need to survive. But don't forget that whiskey, alcohol, tobacco, food, water are all good things to barter with. Because some people just, and don't forget about the sanitary things, soap, water, or I should say soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes. That kind of stuff is actually going to be, because people in our day and age, we like to be clean. We don't like to run around dirty. So guess what? If you're sitting, trust me, when you're out in the woods for a week, the first thing you do when you come home is you hop in the shower. And that's just the way it is, because it's embedded in our brains to be clean. So if you're out in the woods and walking around in this dirty, nasty environment, a bar of soap can be a huge bartering gift to someone.
Oh yeah, and we do have some good news too, though. There's apparently a glut right now of oil, and they expect gasoline to go to about $2 a gallon. It's already dropped in some areas, and
we're paying $2.83 a gallon right here. Hey, Sister
Yeah.
Sue, good to see you. Glad you could join us.
So hopefully we can see some of that $2 a gallon gas. Now that would be nice too.
Gomez, thanks for joining us.
Well, yeah, and welcome. We appreciate you coming in.
Another
So,
good thing,
yeah.
too, guys, is coffee. 90% of our world in the United States here, they run off of coffee. Got to have in the morning. I'm one. I can't even function.
Yeah, I do
without coffee.
too.
So don't forget that stuff. And if you do run out of coffee, guys, another really good one is a substitute. Everybody's heard me talk about this 100,000 times already. Is dandelion root. It's a great substitute for coffee, and it tastes just about like Folgers. So.
Speaking of coffee, yeah, believe it or not, somehow or another, wife and I got to drinking some coffee from Aldi's, and I tell you what, we mix Aldi's decaf 50-50 with the regular Aldi's coffee, and that stuff tastes awfully good. I mean, to me, it tastes like a gourmet coffee. So, I could just be me, but it's worth a shot for anybody
Hooper.
that took.
Here's my buddy. Great to see you, buddy.
Welcome.
Yeah, Elf, I hear you. Gas prices, he's saying it's $3.40 a gallon there in Texas. That is the thing too. Is you got winter coming in some of the states. So I don't know what the fracking there. They had a big law in Colorado about fracking and being too close to houses and places of business. I didn't see how that turned out for them, but they were going to have a vote on that here this last week. But we're lucky that we've only tapped into, what is it, Merle? A third of our resources here in the States?
Well, one of the things that they've been talking about is that we actually are in a position now to be the world's largest supplier of oil. So, that's got to got to help us somewhere
Yeah,
along the line.
that's gonna be really nice. So we can look at it that way, is that we have a bartering trip with the rest of the world here if we're allowed to use it. So
Sybil, you're doing the right thing, for sure. Wonder how long 50 toothbrushes will last.
she's got 500.
That's good. 500, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Emergency trains, vehicles, aircrafts. We're doing pretty good. We're talking about if and when everything goes bad, but we hope it doesn't happen. We just want to be prepared in case it does. Yeah, Sybil's ready. I think she's. I think she took the red pill.
Yeah, blue pill or the red pill. And the thing of it is too is they're talking and telling you they have to explain things, and they're not being so secret about it anymore. If you guys remember the Simpsons show back in the 80s and 90s, and everybody's seen Back to the Future, you've seen all these there's videos on this on YouTube of in the Simpsons he pulls down the shade and the Twin Towers are getting blown up and they're on fire, and that was back in the 90s. So they give you telltale signs is just to catch it. If you fold up the dollar bill, I think it is, or a $5 bill, if you fold it up just right, it shows the Twin Towers burning. So these signs were out there for a long time before anything even happens.
Gomez asked a question that got biased there. He says someone is giving away 2 years old gasoline, about 400 gallons. Is it repairable with the chemicals that remove moisture? In my personal opinion, and I'm not an expert, I would say that moisture is probably the least of your worries with that gas. Yeah. It's probably beyond being able to do anything with it, and they would be, whoever's got it has got a problem, because they're not going to be able to give it away, and it's going to cost them something to get rid of it. So I'm glad I don't have it. Well, that's what I think about it.
Yeah, emergency $20 bill, thanks. Yeah, I would say no, because what happens is it's going to start to gum up the carburetors, and it's going to actually really plug things up, and it leaves a tarnish. So I probably would not purchase anything that it was that old. I wouldn't purchase anything now that's over our. Now that I know what I know, probably if it's 6 months or older, you're starting to push it.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably closer to varnish by now than gasoline.
Yep.
Which is a bad thing. I don't know. I don't know what in the world a person could do with it, to be honest.
Sue says one of the bills shows New York City in a tsunami.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Take care, emergency vehicles. Glad you could join us.
Come back when you can.
That's a thing you guys got to look at, is getting back to the basics, getting back to the old school way of things, not trusting electricity, electronics. I was looking at solar generators, and somebody made the point, what are you going to do if it's a ash winter? You got no sun. Good point. We were made to be working in daylight and resting at nighttime. Lights became a convenience for the government to work us longer hours.
Yeah.
So, look at it that way. Go back to the basics. Same thing with the heat source. I've been talking with Merle here for the last couple of weeks about putting in some kind of wood stove, a temporary wood stove, if something would happen. But as everyone knows, wood stoves, they have one drawback, is that 50% of the heat goes up the pipe. So if I get just a camp burner stove or something like that, most of my heat's going right out the pipe. So I really have to look at other ways of doing things.
Well, we burn wood, and that's all we burn. We've got a gas furnace should we need it. But right now, or for the last 3 to 4 winters, we started burning wood, and just about the time that Chinese ash borer worm came in and killed all the ash trees. And boy, I tell you, that's awfully good wood. So the wife and I have been cutting wood for about 3 weeks, and we'll probably cut for another couple of months until the weather gets really, really bad.
Yeah, Sandy, it's the
And
root of all evil. You're absolutely right. Yeah, wood's a really good option. It's just that I'm looking at, so with a wood furnace, you gotta have electricity to run the fan. The power goes out, you got no fan, so you're counting on radiant heat. With our house being as big as it is, some of these rooms will get really cold. So our next best thing is to have a wood stove in the basement, and would probably be to shut off the upper portions of the house from the water so that we don't break lines or something like that, and just go back to the old school way of a one room house. And you do your cooking, your sleeping, your eating, all in one room or one level, however you want to look at it. But close the rest of them off.
yeah, I think our house is 2,500 square feet or something like that, and it's all spread out. Um, we spend most of our time in one end of the house. We've got a big, like a family room that goes into the kitchen, and those 2 rooms, and then my little room here is off of the living room. So these what we'll call 3 rooms are where we spend most of our time, and we actually enjoy sleeping where it's cold. 50 degrees is not too cold for us. When we were kids, we believe it or not, a lot of our family lived and they used fireplaces, and that's the most inefficient way you can possibly heat a house is with a fireplace. And they would go to bed at night, and when those fires went out, if it was 10 degrees outside, it was just 10 degrees outside, and whatever it was in the house, it was. So, we got pretty much used to sleeping where it was cold. And I think it's good for you, too. People that sleep where it's real hot all the time, I don't know that it's healthy, but it could just be a matter of opinion. But anyway, I think wood's the way to go right now, especially when you got all these trees in our area that, if you don't use them for firewood, they're just going to fall over and lay there and rot.
Yeah, you gotta have the supply and demand. That's the thing is for me, the trees that I have here are that are taken away. Now we have everything that's either it's pine trees or apple trees or walnut trees or something like that, so they have a purpose. So for me I'd have to literally go and buy wood for myself now and have it put in and cut it up. So that makes it difficult. But yeah, thanks Miranda. We had fun working on these sets. She's stretching behind you. Now she's gonna.
She's ornery.
Now you woke her up.
She thinks she's a dog, though. The problem with her is she's got a great sense of hearing and of smelling too, and she'll sniff something out, and if she sees something, she's looking out the window and she sees something, and she wants to get out and get after it.
Yeah. Miranda and Sandy both said the same thing. It is better to be in a cold environment. We keep our heat right around 66 degrees in the wintertime. And a big portion of that is the fact that if something does happen, you're more able to go to that 50 range quicker and be better for yourself than if you keep your house at 70. All of a sudden you lose heat. And for us, your basements are going to be, because they're below ground, they're going to be roughly 45, 50 degrees. So if you had to, you could go down in the basement and you'd still be a little bit warmer than you would be in the upper levels. But if you're used to that hotter temperature and you go to that cold environment, it's going to be really hard to adjust. So you got to look at that aspect of it too.
Yeah. Dave from Two Cedars says, when I was a kid, we slept 3 to a bed and so many quilts you couldn't turn over. Well, that's exactly what I was talking about a while ago. Yeah, that's the way it was. And a lot of times you get lost in that feather tick, too. Haven't seen one of those in a long time.
And they still do that in the military. You've got the buddy system, you know, and your buddy has one half of the tent, you got the other half of the tent. You know, the sleeping bags open up so that you can hook them together. That's the purpose of that, is so that you can keep each other warm. So.
Just makes good sense, that's all. Wife said that when she was a kid, they used to warm up bricks and put them at the foot of the bed. Now, we never did do anything like that, but we probably should have.
Well, look at the old days in England. They used to have, what was that thing that they stick in a fire, and then when they went to go to bed, they used to stick it underneath the mattress.
Yeah, all kinds of things you can do.
And
you know,
the Indians used to do.
If things go bad, we may have to do that.
The Indians used to do is they used to take big rocks and stick them alongside the fire, and they'd have their fire during the day, and in the evening time, they'd pull them underneath their beds that were raised up off the ground, and then obviously hot air rises, and it goes in. And I actually tried that in one of my shelters when I did the bushcraft videos, and it works.
Yeah, there's just all kinds of things that you can do, and the more you learn before you have to do it, the better off you are.
Yep.
But I don't know. If it gets down to 40 degrees, we'll build a fire and we'll let it. We'll just let it go out during the night, and then when we get up, wife gets up about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and if there's no fire, she'll build one, and then when I get up at 8 o'clock, it's nice and warm. So
Gomez says he found hundreds of gallons of gas for free. Seems like such a shame. Wow.
It really is. I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what a guy could do with it, but all I can come up with is you're going to have to pay somebody something to get rid of it.
Yeah, there's ways of doing things and ways of keeping warm, and candles are another good one. Candles do give off somewhat heat, some kind of heat, so you know, you can have candles. There's all kinds of things to look at to keep yourself warm. So, and don't be afraid to try things.
Homestead Tessie did a video just the other day about oil lamps.
Yeah, we got a few of them too.
When I was a kid, I remember these oil lamps. You know, everybody always burnt kerosene in them, and they always were stinking, and they would, you know, cloud up your walls and everything else. But I can't think of the name of it right now, but you can buy some really, really super clean burning fuel for those oil lamps now, and it wouldn't hurt. I think Tessie had probably a dozen of them. Of course, she's, I think, a collector, but it wouldn't hurt to have some of those around. Mark and I were talking. We both bought some of those 100-hour candles. Those are nice, but when they're gone, they're gone. And
sorry, Gomez, I don't.
Yep.
We don't know, or I didn't know it was from on this side of things, but now I know. Gomez is a lady.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope I didn't offend you somehow, but I could have real easy.
Yeah, you can't tell with the...
Two Cedar says you could burn it in a smut pot. Yeah, you probably could. You'll have to tell us more about a smut pot. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, Gomez, you don't have any videos, so I can't tell what's going on, but I did give you a subscribe to your channel, so if you ever do get a video.
I did too.
The other thing that me and Merle were talking about too, guys, is walnuts. I'm looking at doing the pressing oil from black walnuts, and you can use that for cooking. and we can also use it for lamps. So it's just very, very intense work. There's a lot of work in black walnuts. Everybody knows that. But that's another aspect about what I was talking about before, is being self-sustainable on your land and using the things that you have. Back in the day, oil from lard and fat, that was used. So there's other things that we can look at.
Yeah, two-seaters, I know what you're talking about now. They use smut pots to keep the fruit trees from freezing. Yeah, I think that there are probably more uses for walnuts, period, than most people would even think about. Because you've got the oil that you can use in oil lamps. You can use it to cook with. Gosh, you can use it for a dye. You can, and man, nothing tastes any better, I don't think, than something that you've baked or cooked that has black walnuts in it. So pretty good stuff.
Yeah, Miranda, black
thing,
walnuts are actually, like Merle was just talking about, besides being super healthy for you, a quarter cup of black walnuts is all the protein a grown man needs for a daily intake of protein. And you can use them. There's a press that you can buy on Amazon. It's right around $120. And you can actually press the walnut and get an oil from it. And you can use that for cooking. Like Merle just described, it's a very healthy oil to cook with. It is a low temperature oil, so you got to make sure that you're keeping your cooking surface at a low heat.
Yep.
And you can use it for lanterns, and it's actually supposed to be a very clean oil to burn. So that's one of the bonuses about having, I guess, 12 black walnut trees. And Gomez, if we all were a little bit on the nervous side when we first started making videos, but after you do your first one, it's just like riding a bike. It comes really easy.
Yeah, and as far as all those walnuts that you found, if you've got time, spend all your spare time working on them. Just go ahead and crack them and get the good stuff out of them and store it. Once you eat it and use it, you'll just love it.
There's no easy way of breaking them apart besides a hammer, a screwdriver, and a pliers.
Yeah. A vise comes in pretty handy as far as that goes. But, yeah, I spent about 3 hours out there in the garage one day, and I ended up with about a half of a sandwich bag full. So, you work for what you get, for sure.
Miranda, it depends on the area, I guess, as far as walnuts being expensive. You buy them from the store, yes, they're going to be expensive. They're really not that expensive on Amazon right now, but obviously it's because they're in season. Once they become out of season, I think that price is probably going to go up. But
and you got to figure too that what you're seeing on Amazon could be English walnuts.
Right. Yep.
Because I don't know that I've seen anybody on Amazon or eBay or anything like that have sold any black walnuts.
No.
Stranger things.
The other thing too with walnuts is they don't seem to stay as healthy as long. Like you can dry out with a black walnut, you take the green husk off or the hull off, and you let them dry in a bag, and they can keep all winter long. And you can go and get from that bag all winter long. As soon as you remove it from that protective hull, it doesn't take long, and they'll get spongy and soft, and they'll go bad.
Yeah, it sounds kind of nasty, but what we generally do is we pile them out in the driveway and we run over them for a few days, and seriously, and get those green husks off of them, and let them dry out a little bit, and it takes a little bit of the work away.
One of the things too with the black walnut is, and I think Sybil can talk a little bit about this too, is that it's a very, very good source for the natural iodine. It has a very high content. That's where the coloring actually comes from. So you can make a tincture out of that, and actually get iodine. Yeah, they're too big to go into a grinding machine there. Hey, sports fan, great to see you.
We've been worried to death about you. We just been worried sick. We knew you were supposed to be here.
Thanks for stopping
I'm
in
just
there,
kidding.
Elf. Take care and God bless.
Thanks a million for coming to visit.
Yeah,
Got to set the clocks back, yeah.
Yeah, that did happen today, Merle. My watch was off. That was the whole problem.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention, and that's what I was looking at was my watch.
I told my wife, I said, I think he had a time change and just didn't realize it.
Yeah. Yeah, Sybil says, yeah, that's true, Mark. Yep. Black walnut has very good iodine, so...
Yeah, and Miranda, I don't know where you live, but I'm in Indiana, and almost anybody that's got walnut trees will give you walnuts. You don't have to buy them.
Yeah, they're a dime a dozen.
They sure will.
But it's a very good. There's so many, that's the key to what you're looking for is multi uses. James O'Brien was in here a little while ago. He was talking about different types of manure, and it's healthy for growing stuff and gardening. So, it's really good that you use everything that you have, and if you do get something, see if you can have multiple purposes. So it does help out. Yep.
Yeah.
Miranda, my name's Mark. Yep.
Mark and Merle Show. For those of you that don't know, we trade back and forth every other week. Tonight is Mark's week, and he's broadcasting from Wisconsin. Next week, we'll do it from my house here in west central Indiana. So,
yeah, Miranda, you should have walnuts in Milwaukee. I think some of the forests or the wooded areas, there should be. Here in Wisconsin, they're all over the place. Right now, they're gone already. They're already dropped, but
yeah, Mark, sports fan. Mark is working. He's been working so much that he just, I don't think, has felt good enough to do a real live stream. If you work really hard and you're tired and wore out, it's kind of hard to be chipper.
Not only that, too, is you got one day to do everything at home.
Yeah.
And trying to get ready for winter and having to only do that for a day. It can be, like Merle said, you get up and you don't want to do anything because I go to work at 1:30 and I don't get home until after midnight, and you do that 6 days a week. When Sunday rolls around, you're pretty much dead in the water. You don't want to do anything. But yeah, Miranda, if you're in Milwaukee, that's if you can, at all means, get out. Oh
Yeah.
man, I was when we went to go and look at Harleys. Me and my uncle, I drove all over the world. We get down to Milwaukee area. I pulled a car over on the highway, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Now it's your turn to drive." He was from Milwaukee, and I said, "I don't want to drive in this city. They're crazy."
Sorry to hear about your illness too, Gomez, if I'm reading it right. And you've not been able to be online. Well, that's a good thing. At least you're better than you were. So there are plenty of people in this chat room here that are going to pray for you, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of things, that we do for for health benefits. We talk Gomez, so we talk about the chaga mushroom. We talk about all kinds of different things to help with illnesses, sicknesses, to keep the immune systems up. We got Sister Sybil in here, which is really good too with wild edibles. I might know a little bit about wild edibles here and there.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. They're my go-to.
Well, I try not to have to do that, but believe it or not, my wife is better with wild edibles than I am. She was. We were over at my daughter and son-in-law's farm and working on the firewood, and she's looking around there, and she says, "Boy, there's just all kinds of good stuff to eat here." And she's, we're like out in the middle of the pasture. So, yeah, there is, and especially in the, the heart of the United States. There's some good stuff.
Yeah, Miranda Point.
Fred,
Fred,
good to see you too.
Mushrooms are great too. Yes, Miranda. Yeah, the Point would be a good area. There's not such a big city. Don't have as much riffraff, but you're getting closer. The farther north you go, the better off you are. It is so good to see you, Fred. I have missed you guys. Obviously, I've been working way too much, making up time here, and I think it has a lot to do with this economy and with the new things that are coming out with. You're going to see here in the next couple months, or maybe at the beginning of the new year, a lot of renewable energies. They're going to be pushing a lot of the solar and wind turbines and stuff like that. And that's what a lot of military stuff. That's kind of where we're at. I make bearings for all that stuff. So I think it has a lot to do with everybody just trying to fill up before the end of the year because they don't know which way it's heading.
But Fred, about the mushrooms, I remember back in the 60s, I had some mushrooms and they didn't work out real well for me.
That's the wrong kind of mushrooms there, Merle.
I woke up and couldn't remember where I'd been.
You're not supposed to eat the purple ones.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I like the shiitakes. I like the chick of the woods. Puffballs. You can find all kinds of different mushrooms out in the wood. Just make sure that you're doing your research and grabbing the right one. Otherwise, you could be like Merle here and wake up and not remember what happened. And if they come in a plastic bag and they're dried out, they're probably not ones you want to eat.
Especially if you have to pay too much for them.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I think the mushrooms around here got up around $50 or $60 a pound or something crazy like that. I like them, but I don't like them that well.
Yeah, Gomez, chaga is so healthy for you. But it's a long process to try to break that down. But it's a very, very good mushroom. Yeah, Moranwaki is getting bad. I can imagine. It's probably outgrowing itself, and it's not going to get better, that's for sure.
That sure is a nice picture we got behind us there, Mark.
You know what that picture is?
Cheered everybody up, I bet. That was probably the last hurricane we had come through.
Yep, that's what it is.
I'm thinking about building about a 15, 20-foot wall around my house and put guard towers up. My wife said that she didn't think she would like that, but
yeah, I wouldn't like that either. I like the wide open spaces.
I picked about 15 pounds of dinner mushrooms last night in the rain. I want her to send me some so we'll know how to use it. 15 pounds. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for this time of year.
Yeah, Miranda, you don't want to be anywhere near Milwaukee if martial law happens. You're absolutely right.
I could be wrong, but my thought is that if we have martial law, and there's a good chance that we will, that it won't be nationwide. It will be in the big cities, and it may spread from there.
The other thing, too, guys, that I was wanted to talk about, too, is if the system does crash and the monetary system goes in effect, the banks are going to know 48 hours to 3 days, 48 to 72 hours in advance that this is going to happen. And if you look at the Great Depression, what happened is people that got wind of what was going on went to try to get their money out 2 days prior to the collapse, and they were turned away because we're on the internet now. So the banks don't have that money. So you figure if people go to the bank and say, I want to pull my money out, it's only going to take a little bit before they run out of money, paper money anyway, and they're not going to have anything. So be wise of what's going on around you. And you know what we've been doing is pulling out stuff here and there, buying some silver with it, just keep enough in there to pay the bills, and going into the monetary system, because that's a very, very, very bad thing if you got all your money in one basket.
Yeah, the problem that I had with that, as I understand it, I did not live through the Depression, obviously, but if I understand it correctly, they wanted paid their regular house payments and things, land payments and so forth and so on, but they weren't much in the mood to give back anybody's money that they had taken.
I talked to a gentleman, his grandfather, now he would have been the third generation at the farm. His grandfather lived through the Great Depression. He lost the farm because he couldn't make a payment on it, because obviously milk prices went down, couldn't make a payment on there. And the bank took his house away because he couldn't make a payment on it. But they allowed him to stay there because no one else could buy the house. They didn't want to lose it, obviously, because everything would fall apart. And later on down the year, or in time, he actually bought the house back from the bank, and now his grandson actually lives at the farm now, so it's the third generation. But they did come and take the house because he couldn't make the payment.
Well, I guess it was nice the way they worked with him, though.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do that this time around.
Oh, there's no telling. I mean, there's just absolutely no telling. I wouldn't even begin to even imagine how they're going to try to straighten this mess out. The problem, as I understand it right now, is the feds are continuing to raise rates because they have to. They basically have to. And nobody's going to buy anything as long as the rates go up. So.
Right. Gomez, if you go on my channel, I do have a chaga video how to actually break it down and being able to use it. But I can tell you there's two parts to a chaga mushroom. You have the inner, it's like a cork style, it's soft, and you have the outer shell, which is hard. Both of them have different types of properties to them. When you combine them both together is when you get the beneficial and the best of the best. The outer parts need alcohol to break it down, and that's like a 6-month process. The inner part, you can actually do a tea with a slow cooker, and that's a 2-day process. So, but by combining the two, you get best of both worlds. If you buy chaga online, I don't see how it is even possible that it works, because they're giving you powder. Okay. Why did that? Gomez, I'm gonna. First off, we're gonna make you a moderator. Welcome to the club.
And then you'll be able to post that.
Yeah. And here is my channel, and I'm gonna jump over here and I'll go grab that link to that video and I'll post it in there. This small channel I gotta find stuff on it, you know. That might have been last year. Wow, Merle. More videos than I thought I had.
Man, I just looked at the clock. I couldn't believe we've been on almost an hour and a half already.
Really? Yeah.
A lot of good stuff.
All right. So now I'm gonna put this link in here. There you go, Gomez. There is the actual video on my channel to watch with the chaga mushroom. But one of the things I want you to be aware of is there's a lot of fake stuff out there. So it's best if you can get it right off the tree.
A guy in Texas was telling me about northern Arkansas. I'm hearing a lot about Missouri too. In the what mountains are those anyway? I forgot.
Appalachian? No.
No, those are out east. But that's a. Thank you, Sue.
Ozark?
Yeah, the Ozark Mountains. That's a good place for people to hide, so I'm told. And they have no zoning laws, almost no zoning laws in most of those counties in southern Missouri. And that's where a lot of people that are retiring from the military are going to live. So if something happens like the Mississippi River, they're talking about the Mississippi River could actually split the United States in half, and that part of the Ozark Mountains would be a good place to be should that happen.
No minimal. You're talking, Gomez, are you talking about for extracting the properties? You said no mineral, but no mineral, right?
I was,
the best thing for extracting the properties from that is going to be your high potent 100 proof vodka, and it's a 6-month process. And what I like to do is I always have some going. Like we'll do it in the springtime when, or I'm sorry, in the wintertime. That's the other thing too is if you harvest chaga in the summertime, in the fall time, before the freeze comes, the mushroom itself doesn't have the properties in it yet as good as it is if it's in the wintertime, because then all the nutrients that generally goes back into the root of the tree for hibernation goes also into the chaga. And the chaga is on the birch tree, which everybody knows has very good medicinal purposes. So if you're harvesting that in the summertime, you're not going to get the benefits because all of it is out into the leaves. And not into, you're going to get some of it, but it's not going to be as potent as if it was actually wintertime. So they say the best time to harvest chaga is in the winter.
yeah, Fred, I think that's a pretty good place to be too. I enjoy watching the videos of people in the Appalachians. And Sybil, I think you're going to probably be pretty happy if you go to southern Missouri. Just you really want to look at what you're buying though. I've known some people that bought some things sight unseen, and there was not a level spot more than 10 feet wide. So you got to kind of be careful of that.
Yeah, that would really.
Uh,
That would not be fun.
I mean, there are some lots that are absolutely unbuildable. Just no place to build anything. Yeah, that's what's happening everywhere, so no normal people can get rich from the mineral rights, yeah. They've got them all bought up. It's kind of funny, too, because even out here, we lived for about 25 years in the country, and then I mean God's country. It was out in the middle of nowhere, and people were trying, from the gas companies, were trying to buy mineral right, the rights to the gas, if there was any. I mean, nobody had checked, so I don't know what the deal was with that, but I sure haven't found anybody. Yeah, I said, well, the topo maps are a good place to start.
I'm just sending out some retweeting our stream out here so we. Ugh. Yeah, we're all.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Merle.
go ahead. Well, Country Girl said, I'd love to live out in the country, but she's better off where she's at. Well, I think there's a lot of people in that situation. I really do. And you got to make the best of what you got. That's all there is to it. But you just got to brainstorm and find out, what is it that I can do to make it better, you know? They own everything by law already. So
Right
you
back, brother.
own just the topsoil. Yeah. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Really. You have to check and make sure before you buy a piece of ground what you actually are buying, and in many cases that's all you do get is the topsoil. Yeah, my wife and I have been married 50 years last May, and we've moved we've moved 4 times in 50 years. And the last 3 moves were just 10 miles apart. So, but the point I was trying to get at was that we bought a house in the middle of Indianapolis. Well, out in the what they would call the suburbs, and we lived there for 10 years and made $10,000 when we sold it. Then we came out to out in the country, and we were able to pay cash for our property. So that's, if you can do something like that, boy, that's the way to go. Problem is, you can't buy property like that and expect it to go up the way it did during that period. That's what's making things tough for people. A lot of young people thought that they could do what people my age did, that they could buy a piece of property, they could pay on it for 15 to 30 years, pay it off, and that it would be worth a lot more than they paid for it. And you know, it simply hasn't worked out that way for a lot of people. So you got to be careful. You can't just expect that things are going to be the way they always have been.
Yeah.
And then you got people like Mark. He was born with not a silver spoon, a platinum spoon in his mouth, and and he's never had to work or anything like that.
No,
And
never.
You know,
Yeah, I work way too much. I was born on and raised in the farm, but I'll tell you what, I think farm life was easier than what I'm doing now. Work way too much.
oh, you no doubt you enjoyed it a whole heck of a lot more
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. That's Merle was bringing up a good point. Is that land prices are going to go through the roof here, and when the economy, just before things like to take a dive, you're going to see houses go up, and you're going to see this and you're going to see that, and it's going to be terrible. So, got to go, guys.
Goodbye,
God
sports
bless.
fan.
Take care, my dear. Have fun. God bless your week. Stay safe. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned it, but I heard that property values in California are dropping like a rock.
Yeah, well, no one wants
They
to live
were-
there.
They were really high though at one point, and man, some of those people are just crying because the values have just gone to nothing.
They got I think they're one of the highest, or they are the highest for homeless people, because
Yeah.
you either have to have, you're either rich and you got the big house, or you're middle class and you're just barely making it, or you're low income and you have nothing. So it's really hard to pretty much do anything down there.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for a lot of people. I mean, if I told you what we live on here, you would probably not believe it. It's it's kind of funny in a way. But the big trick is don't owe anybody anything. Quit buying stuff on credit. Pay everything off. And try to buy things that are going to last you a while. People are leaving that have money because the radiation levels are climbing. They sure are.
Is that from Fukushima?
Yeah. I believe so. I sure wouldn't want to be anywhere close to that ocean over there, especially on the north end. Not good.
Yeah, California's crazy. And it's only going to get worse.
But we were talking about politics a while ago, and the people on the left. I've never seen the left get as violent as they have lately. They always wanted to scream and raise Cain about this or that, but they never got as violent. And I believe that Soros is a big part of that, but it doesn't seem like he has to do too much to get them riled up. So,
Well, I think the Clintons have a little bit to do with that too.
oh yeah, without a doubt.
It's just the way this, the society is nowadays, is that they're just riffraff, and they're just trying to cause issues and causing problems. Like I said before, when we take in effect and we counter what they're doing, it feeds their fire. I think so, and I'm not saying we're supposed to let them run over the top of us, but I've noticed that if you remove that equation from the system, they have no one to fight with.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these black Republicans they're not getting along too well with their families even. But I sure enjoy it when I see them. I'm going to have to get up in a minute and take this cat to bed. She's yeah.
She's gonna.
It's time for me and her to separate. Yeah, Sybil. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the trick. is if you don't owe anybody anything, and thank God we don't. It's the trick. It really is.
And you're
That's how
talking.
you get.
You're talking about Soros there for a little bit. Who do you think's funding that caravan? Guys got to eat.
Oh yeah,
Guys got to sleep.
yeah, and near as I can tell, they're these pictures you see with these big long lines of people. They're just for show, because as soon as they get the pictures all over with, then they break out the buses, and you know he's paying for those.
Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but 2,000 miles and they're already at the border. Weren't they supposed to be like after the elections getting there? They had to speed something up.
I had not heard they were at the border already. I hope not.
Hope not.
Anyway. Supposed to be building a big tent city out there. Well, I read an article where whoever the military guy was that was in charge of that tent city said that he hadn't gotten that order yet. So sounds like they may have some problems there. But as near as I can tell, what they're planning to do is process those people, and as soon as they've got a load, they're just going to take them back home.
Yeah, Miranda, I'm sure, like Merle said, after the pictures are taken, everything else, the buses pull up and they load them and they get back to, they go to the next spot and start all over.
Thanks, Fred. Yeah, she's ornery. She's pretty, but she knows it too.
So wow,
Dad feeds her too much. She's a fat rascal.
That's funny. I'm surprised she hasn't pulled out your earbuds yet.
She's sleepy. She's sleepy. Are you sleeping? Are you?
She's walking around behind you.
She's called a blue-tip Siamese, I'm told. I would have called it a black-tip Siamese, but
Yeah, Sybil.
Texas is... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the same. Texas is preparing for them to come through McAllen, Laurels, and Brownsville, and El Paso.
Yeah, I tell you what, there is a bunch of militia and just plain patriots down there, too.
Hey, Jamaican girl, thanks for stopping in. Hope you can stay
We welcome
longer.
you.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on. So if you guys can, get yourselves some silver, get yourself some water prep, some food stored up, medicinal things, medication. A lot of people forget about that. Fish mock, stuff like that you can use. Not a bad time to start looking at that stuff.
Yeah, Miranda, there are places in Texas that's like the United Nations. And by the same token, though, there are places that are just the opposite, too. I personally don't have much use for the United Nations at all. Maybe I'm too honest. But I think those blue helmets, when you see those things coming, you can know you're in trouble.
Yep. It's not a good thing.
I was thinking of heading to the border to see what really happens. That'd be a good idea, Walter. No kidding.
That'd make a good YouTube video.
It really, really would.
They'd probably take it off because you're telling the truth, but
Yeah, I'd like to see somebody that we know do that. I heard Dabu say that the Patriots were getting accused of stealing from the troops. I wouldn't doubt it a bit. And I've been watching Dabu for a long time, and he just doesn't seem to me to be as hard-hitting as he used to be about certain things. I don't know if they got after him too much from YouTube, and he just doesn't want to lose his channel or what, but he just doesn't hit things, some of the subjects, as hard as he used to, I don't believe.
well, that's because they put a leash on him.
Yeah, I still like to watch him, though. He does good stuff.
Miranda says they'd probably smash your camera. Well, most definitely.
Fred says, Walter, if you do, let me know. I'll go with you. Yeah, I'd like to. Really would. But I don't think I would go unarmed.
Well, take the lion with you.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, her great-great-granddaddy was a full-blooded mountain lion.
See, the Sybil says the border ranchers are all preparing for those caravans. And I think that's what they're shooting for, is because that caravan gets across there and comes into Texas, and you get into other people's land, people start shooting. There's your chaos. Yeah, I'll bring in the Great Dane, and then I got my other one's American Pit Bull, so dogs got to eat.
The military went around, I'm told, to the property owners that are on this side of the Rio Grande, and told them that they were going to see just regular people walking through their property to help them to watch and let them know what was going on. So it sounds like they're trying to work with just regular people, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that way very often, and I was glad to hear that.
Yeah, Walter, hope everything goes well with the kids then, if they're a handful. Yeah, Miranda, we're pretty, I wouldn't say we're set, but I guess we're in a decent place and good. I think you can get more and more, everybody says, but she's licking his ear.
Licking my head. That's all. I had a picture of her, or she was sitting up there one day, and I was on with some bunch of other guys, and he sent me a picture of his dog, and this guy's got bald head, and his dog was sitting in the back with leaning his chin on the top of his bald head, just like that. He said, "Your cat reminds me of my dog."
That's funny. I'll see if
the ranchers are dealing with the migrants all year long and have found a lot of them dead. Well, yeah, a lot of them just fall over dead from lack of water and dehydration and nothing to eat.
Dog's going nuts.
Yeah, that would be kind of difficult. I told the wife I hoped we didn't have any of those kind of problems here, because I didn't want to have to smell the stench of those rotting bodies out in my yard from where they tried to break in my house. That was bad. I shouldn't have said that.
I'm gonna come and try to find a picture here for Miranda of the puppies. So keep on talking.
Go see our home cooking. I know I pronounced that wrong somehow. Welcome. Hello to you. And we're glad you found us. We're talking about anything and everything, as you probably know by now. Nice looking channel too. Looks like I better subscribe, and you're almost to that magic number.
Who's that?
982 now, and I tickled the bell too. Yeah, where'd she go?
Oh, home cooking?
Go see it. Yeah. Yep. Go see it, our home cooking.
Yep, I'm already a subscriber.
She found you.
And then
Let's
you
see.
have,
Got another new one here to me.
yep,
Sakuna Swana.
subscribe to her
And I
too.
know I messed that one up. I know I messed that one up.
Got serving from my home is another one.
Yeah. I found all kinds of people to subscribe to here. All of a sudden. Somebody else must have just quit.
No, but serving is, serving from my home. She's got a lot of canning stuff too. So
Oh, I missed that almost.
pressure canning.
And another subscription.
You're missing a lot, aren't you?
I got 3 there all of a sudden.
Gotta try to.
So we're good now. But you're not keeping up with your, well, I guess you are.
I gotta try to find my thing here. That's what I'm doing.
My channel. My channel is, well, let me say something here. And that's my channel.
Take care, Gomez.
And
we'll see you soon.
yes, and thanks for coming. We alternate every other week. It's Mark and me, and then Mark and me.
Mark and me. I'm seeing
And
if I can,
we're presently at 4:30 Central on Sunday. Sometime or another, we hope to get back to our regular Saturday evening thing at 7 o'clock. But we'll try to give you plenty of notice. Serving from my home, Sakuna. That's a neat channel name. I like that. And Jim, welcome. About got a full house, Mark.
yeah, I'm trying to pull up a picture here. I will be there shortly.
Back from the dead fixing a snowblower. Sounds like something I'd be doing.
It's too early to be fixing snowblowers.
Well, we got you subscribed, Jim. And what I'm gonna do with this ornery cat? She's You gonna bite me? She's riding to the core. Ouch! She likes to chew on my hands.
Ain't the best picture here, Miranda, but yeah, here's our put it alongside our me right here. It'll be popping up shortly. Yeah, Jim. There's my the left one is the baby, the pup.
I don't see it.
It'll YouTube slow. Hey guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It helps us out. Thanks for saying that, Sister Sue.
I'll give you a link to my channel, and it is Micro Homesteaders /YouTube.com. I got one of those easy ones.
No, Miranda, the left one is the puppy. That's the pup. That's the Great Dane pup. The other one's 2 years old. The right one, Coda, is 110 pounds, and then he's the pup. So there you go, Merle. There's the two of them side by side.
It's my fault. I had a chat box up there, and they were just barely getting covered. Well, they look related.
Yeah.
They do look a lot alike.
Look
at the feet on.
Yeah, I was just gonna tell you. Look at the feet.
Oh man. Yeah, I was looking at the shepherds over my daughters, and it looked as if they were walking on their toes. I know they weren't, but it sure did look like it.
Yeah, he's got
That's kind of neat.
He's got some big old feet on him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he does. That's a lot of. When they got feet like that, they like to eat a lot.
Yeah, he does. He's not afraid to hit the food dish. That's for sure.
I bet he'll fight for his part too. Yeah, you'll have a horse soon.
Yeah, he's the baby.
I don't know. We've always had dogs, but I don't know what. I think we're getting too lazy, to be honest. I was the kind of guy that all my dogs just always ran loose, and that's just what we did. That's what everybody did. Their dogs ran loose, and every once in a while you'd come up missing a dog. And boy, I hated that. But that's the way it was back in the day, I don't like to have to lock a dog up, make it live in the house, or tie it to a tree, or, and that kind of stuff. I like what you do. You take them out and you give them an acre to run in. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Nope.
But a lot of people take a huge dog and try to raise it in a 2-room apartment, and that's not good for the dog. Fred says against it, Miranda. Legalize weed, take away guns, no thanks.
Yeah, the Miranda bought marijuana, legalizing marijuana in Wisconsin. Probably make a lot of people happier around here, but I don't use the stuff, so it wouldn't matter for me one and the other. But take away my guns, and we're gonna have a problem.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say. I don't, if they're going to sell, you can. Oh gosh, don't get me started. You can, and I used to drink a lot, too much. But you can go to a liquor store and for $10 you can buy enough to stay drunk for 2 days, and I mean out of your mind drunk, and they won't let you smoke a joint You know, not that I do, I don't, but
Yeah, that's what.
you know,
There's
why
so many
would
other things.
why,
Cigarettes.
but why would one be legal and the other one not be? I don't know of anybody that. I don't know of a single case where somebody got high on pot and went out and killed somebody. I just don't. Surely it's happened, but I don't know anything about it. So you know, I don't care one way or another about that. I'd rather my, you know, my grandkids didn't. I'd rather my grandkids didn't do it, but I'd rather they wouldn't drink too. So, and when it comes to the Second Amendment, you know, the crocodile, the real crocodile guy in Australia, he said they'd have to take him away from him, and they did exactly that. So, and he died in the process. And I think that will happen a lot here if they try to come and get him. But I don't look for it to happen. I did for about 8 years. It really concerned me. But after the last election, I'm not nearly as concerned about it as I once was.
Yeah, Jim, I know that Canada, they just legalized it, but, you know, like Merle said, it's here nor there. They allow cigarettes, which has their causes cancer and everything else. Alcohol, you can get all that stuff, but they can't, like you said, you can't smoke a joint, and I don't smoke weed anyway, but ain't gonna make a difference to me. All it is another way for the government to get more tax, more money. So that's why they want to legalize it, is because of money profit.
One of the reasons they don't want to legalize it is it will end up being something that's good for medicinal purposes. And believe me, the pharmaceutical industry wants no part of that because they won't be able to control it.
Yeah, city girl, keep your son away from that vape, and it's I heard not, you know, it's bad for your lungs. And I know when I quit smoking, I tried one, and at first it was really simple, and then I started having a hard time with extra energy. It was like it was clogging up my lungs. Hey,
City
look
girl,
at
I
there.
think.
Look at there. She finally woke up.
Well, let it snow.
That's pretty good timing.
But pretty girl, 'cause city girl. I think that some people are more anxious than others, and I would be one of those anxious people, believe it or not. And there are medications for that. As far as I'm concerned, a guy is better off to take them and go ahead and take that medication. And as far as I'm concerned, I know of people that use marijuana for exactly that, and it works. But I would rather that they didn't smoke it, and a vaporizer in that case is probably the way to go.
Sushi's saying hi to the snow, not.
No snow, high snow. How high?
So I gotta let her know. Thank you so much for the cards and the gifts and everything else. It's such a great thing, and we appreciate it all. She sent us some dried herbs and all kinds of good stuff in there. So thank you so much for the gift.
I'm with you, Walter. Drugs should be a state's right. Freedom to pursue happiness, but welfare isn't constitutional. So, yep.
I figure you just didn't get up. I figured you're probably outside playing. How's the weather up there? Oh, sorry, Merle.
Go ahead. I'm just talking.
Look at there's another one. Mr. Cab 7 has dropped in to say hi. How's it going, brother? Good to see you.
Cab 7, we welcome you. We sure do.
So I've been there, Cabby. I've been off and working 10 days, 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. So my only free day is Sunday. So that's why you guys have not seen me. For the people that are just getting in the room now, pretty much working my life away here. So I hope it slows down. But what I've heard is that it won't be until sometime after March. So I'm going to be a 1 day a week man on YouTube.
So he's saving up now to buy an airplane.
Yeah.
He's making all that money.
But it's really good to see you, Ben. I'm glad you could stop in here.
Yeah, and by the way, Cab 7, I watch a lot of your stuff, but I don't always sign in or say much because the way I've been lately is in and out.
He's the same as what he's just like you. He's a lurker. Cab's a lurker too, usually.
I want to tell everybody else in the channel, if you don't know Cab 7 and if you haven't been to his channel, you should go, because you will enjoy listening to somebody that is as sincere as anybody that I know.
Yeah, Cab, I am. I'm blessed to have work. You're absolutely right. They could cut back the hours. Sometimes some things are good and sometimes it's bad.
Money's good, but working all the time, I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of people.
Some of these people that have got a job where they make a living doing their hobby, you know, whether it's golf or fishing or that kind of stuff. I always hated those people. Not really. But I just, you know, here they are making all this money doing everything that they like. Like, you know, these guys that play basketball and football, making millions of dollars doing something that they love. Those are the lucky people, believe me. You're welcome, Cab.
Yeah, you got that right, City Girl. He's a man with a big heart. And a vet, guys. He is a veteran also, so. Absolutely, Snow. I'll let her know. Yeah, my normal day is get up in the morning and feed the animals and get ready for work and pack my lunch. So that's during the week. I have very little time to do just about anything. So it's been a very, very short days. Perth, great to see you. Thanks for stopping in here.
And believe it or not, my wife and I have been cutting wood for 3 weeks when it's not raining. But lately we've had like 3 or 4 days of rain and 1 day of sunshine, and I think we're gonna have 1 day this week.
No, so she didn't change her name. She's been fighting a cold, and our littlest one has been most of the night. Last night he kept me awake because she finally went and rested and got some sleep because she was dealing with him all week. But so kids are getting sick, and so she's been dealing with him. So I think she's probably upstairs resting. Yeah, it's no until March is what they're talking about now. So it's going to be a long, long winter.
Government is upside down right now. It's top down. It is supposed to start in town and go to county, then state, then federal. Yeah, Walter, I don't know what your point is there, but you're right about what you said. And it is upside down. The troll has arrived.
There he is.
You're late, Tommy. How much wood do you need for a year? Probably, in this neck of the woods, we measure wood by the rick. and as near as I can tell, it takes 3 ricks to make a cord. So we use about 12 ricks. What would that be? 3 cord? 4 cord.
4 cords. Well, Miranda,
So,
thanks for joining us. She says, Mark and Merle has been incredible, but my team is coming on soon. You know I am a Patriot fan. All I can remember is walnut. It's black walnut. So,
that's cool.
so Cabby, if
Well,
you're
thanks
still
for coming.
if you're still in here, how's it been? I haven't heard or seen anything for a while. You guys doing okay over there? Hope everything is well and all the drama has left that scene. I know it was getting pretty bad for a while.
I just kind of figured that's where you'd been, Tommy. Hope all your live streaming went well. Is that a full 100-inch cord? Well, probably not, because we cut them into about 14-inch pieces and stack them that way. We don't necessarily measure them all that close since we're using them and not selling them.
Miranda, I think you're talking about, I think, would be Locked and Loaded's brother is the one that has brain cancer. And like I said, I haven't been on much at all. And it is, as far as I know, everything is as it was. So,
Well, that is cool. Cab, your family from Germany. That's neat.
yeah, that is awesome. Well, I'm glad to see that you have some time to spend with your family there, Cab.
Oh, Tommy. Somebody unplugged the network switch. Ah. You don't suppose they knew what they were doing, do you?
Now, Miranda, you live in Milwaukee and you're saying you want the Packers to lose.
At least she's honest.
Yeah, at least she's honest, yep. He's a Patriots fan. And Fred says, no worries, I'm a Steelers fan. And Sue said Donnie was on the live stream the other night, so that's good. It means he's up and around, so that's good.
Yeah, Walter, I'd like to make a comment on yours. He says the county sheriff needs to realize he has more power than the ATF or the FBI and all the alphabet agencies. The sheriff in Indianapolis gave up, how do I want to say this? But he gave up his power, actually, is what he did. And I can't explain it in detail because I don't know how it came about, but the sheriff of Marion County, Indiana, now is basically nothing but a paper server. So, you know, I'm like you. I think the sheriff is the most, well, technically the coroner is the most powerful person in most counties. But, you know, for the sheriff to do that, that was pretty sorry as far as I'm concerned. I didn't know how they did it, but he gave up a job that would have paid $300,000 or $400,000 a year, and I think he took $80,000, if I'm not mistaken. You have to look that up, but it's an interesting story. And
Sequoia, well, thanks for coming by, and guys, she's from Scotland, so it's 1 a.m. in the morning there, so she's gonna go to bed. But take care, my friend, and God bless, and hope all is well, and stay safe.
And please come back and see us. Be on my channel next week. Golly, let's see here. Tommy, don't tell me you was the idiot that unplugged that. Nah, surely not.
And Walter says the sheriff in New
Nice.
Jersey took back the power and got indicted. Indicted.
Yeah, some of the sheriff's jobs in this state, if they are able to feed the inmates, let's say they give them $1 a day to feed, or $1 a meal to feed an inmate. If they can feed that inmate for 50 cents, they made 50 cents on every inmate they've got. So they've tried to do away with that. No, Marion County's not a sanctuary county. I can't see that happening at all. A vote in sheriff is the most powerful person. Get the best one in. Yeah, you want to do that for sure. Oh yeah, Walter, that sheriff that gave everything up, he could have made 300,000, and now he's making 80. So he was, I don't know, an older guy, and he was retired, I think, from another job, and he just made it so nobody else could make any money on the job, I guess. Game warden's the best job, yep.
Yeah, they got a lot of.
That's what I should have done.
What?
I should have been a game warden. Well, yeah, a game warden can search almost any place without a warrant. All they got to do is believe that there's something, say, in the car, the trunk, or what have you, that someone is shot out of season.
Yep.
A sheriff that is voted in is more powerful than one appointed. Yeah, I believe that, and they should be. But in Indiana, the way the law reads, and a lot of people don't know it, the only person in the state of Indiana that can arrest a sheriff is the coroner in a county. So, in Alabama, we have constables who have the power to arrest the sheriff. Yeah, 80 for nothing's better than 300 for real work. I don't think they ever worked that hard, though. I just hated to see the sheriff's department give up the power they had.
Well, guys, we've been on for now for 2 hours there, Merle. So I got to go and eat some dinner and get ready for the work week.
And I think I'll go in and grab a bite of something. It's not too late for a late supper, is it?
No. I want to thank.
I sure have enjoyed the evening.
Yeah, and I want to thank everybody that was in here and stopped in to say hi for a second, and those of you that we've been gone for a while: Sybil, Sue, City Girl, Tommy, Fred.
It's good to see everybody,
and the new people,
and
Jim.
and the new people too. Yeah.
Snow, it's been really good to see you. I will have Moon give you a jingle or a note or something there, but I want to tell everybody thank you so much for stopping in and saying hi, and you guys take care of yourself until the next time that we talk or see each other.
Everybody take care. Pray for each other. And we wish you all the best. Blessings all around.
So you guys take care, guys, and God bless, and stay safe. And we'll see you next Sunday on Merle's channel. So you guys don't have Merle, and everybody does, make sure there's bells on. We'll be over there next week, next Sunday at 4:30 Central Time. So we'll see you guys there.
Bye-bye. And we're out.
It's about to break. You're riding shotgun. The feeling we chase. I'm wide awake. Take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same old path again now. No, I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy. Making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. Friends, these are the good times. And I'm feeling like I could go on forever. And I've been running out of air, so let me catch my breath. This feeling I've got's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy. Making me crazy. So I'm just gonna